Hello everyone, Busy Gamer Dad back again for our third and final installment of Wizardry, Proving Ground of the Mad Overlord. Hopefully you guys like this game. It's a bit of a hard difficulty in a sense of you have to play the first level a lot, like first level like hours to get probably, we'll say, halfway ready to get to the second level, because you aren't going to be ready for the second level until you actually experiment with going down into it and seeing what kind of monsters you run into. And this is one of those games that's an old school game that's gotten remastered or retooled to have the visual dressings really zhuzhed up and made more artistically appealing, as opposed to the DOS type of screen, green screen kind of stuff that I'm used to from when I was a kid playing the game. And I think they did a great job with it. I think this game is a lot of fun, and I think I would recommend this game for anyone who's looking to see how the original games were kind of built on various systems that you see a lot around today. This game came out originally like in 81 or 83, so that's like 40 years ago. And you'll see that there's a lot of systems still in use in today's games that were established from this game. And that's really one of the reasons why I want to show it off as a session gameplay series. Also because I like the game. I think it's a lot of fun. It's challenging for the sake of being difficult. And that's how they built in their longevity for the older games, was making them really hard to continue to keep playing. And when I say really hard to continue to keep playing, I simply mean it was a challenge, an inert difficulty that made you have to go and do the first floor over and over again to grind and get levels, and be prepared to go to the next floor and then do that over and over again, map it out with some graph paper and things like that. So that's what I'm saying by a difficulty scale to continue to keep playing. Now, where we're at in the game right now is, last episode I showed you guys that we got lost in darkness. We fought on the first floor an enemy that we could not kill and had to run away from. We barely made it out with several of our parties pretty wounded. We healed up. I showed you some level up mechanics and how that works and how it's random, but also kind of allows you to allocate certain points to get to the advanced classes should you want to get any of your characters to those advanced classes. I mentioned this last episode, but I want to make sure I drive the point home. You need to have depth in your bench. How this game works is there's an age system, and I'm not certain how it will affect your characters over the long haul of the game, but the age system, or Vim is what they call it, your characters have a certain amount of Vim, and as they lose Vim, they might lose stats, they might lose saving throws, I don't know, but you need to have depth in your bench of characters to replace those given roles. So naturally you're going to be bringing party members in that are level 1 to work their way all the way up to level 5, level 7, level 10, depending on how far you get into the game with them. And they'll usually be in the back row, so having one spot reserved for bringing in someone is a good idea. Where we're at right now is we have a pretty well-rounded party. We've got a mage, we've got a thief, we've got a cleric, we've got 3 fighters in the front row. You can put a cleric, or I think a bishop, in the front row. I'm not certain that I would recommend that, because they can do spells, but they can also die really quickly, and you can only do damage from the front row with the melee weapons. So if you're a caster, you typically want them in the back row. That said, that's also where I put our thief character, because when one of your front row characters happens to die, it pulls the next character into the front row for the enemy to focus on and hurt and kill. So that's why I have our thief there, because they also have the highest agility. Hopefully they can dodge. Hopefully they can get around the badness. But yeah, it's not terrible to expect a character to die. I would highly recommend that you don't let anyone die, because what I wanted to show you this time is it's very expensive to resurrect a character when they die, and it really does set you back quite a bit in terms of progression. So we have Sarah here. She is 750 gold to resurrect, and she is level 3. So murmur, chant, pray, invoke, resurrect. Great. All right, so we resurrected everybody in our party. I think I'm going to leave her out of the party for now. Good priest? Okay, cool. Yeah. So I think that I want to leave her out of the party for now. They come back at level 1, so you will have to spend money again to either have them rest at the end to get fully healed, or you can do a tactic where you bring the priest down into the dungeon, use their heal spells, come back, stay at the inn for free, refill their heal spells, rinse, repeat until all your characters are full up. That's kind of what I've done with Farwind, but I don't recommend it because you're using your Vim at that point. And like I said, Vim is meant to be the passage of time in the game, so your characters are naturally going to grow old. I also don't know if the humans age faster than the elves or the dwarves, or the if they have that kind, or the gnomes for that matter. There's the 4 races that are in the game. If that kind of thought has been put into it, I will tell you right now, I wouldn't want to test it. I just want you guys to be aware of it. So what we're gonna do right now is I'm actually going to swap out our rogue who's at level 4. And I'm going to bring another rogue I made myself in the game, and I'm going to swap our characters out here so that we can bring in a lower level character to hopefully get some experience and grow, and to start building our bench depth essentially. And that's what I strongly encourage you all to do, so that you make sure that you are not going to run into a situation where you have no one to replace a fighter that went down for any given reason. So let's see here, change position. I want to change you, and I'm going to move you there, and then we'll call that good. Awesome. Okay, now last thing we're going to do before we go down there is I'm going to show you guys, you have a shop in the game, but all the characters come pre-furnished, I'll simply say, or pre-equipped. And you can buy anything if you want to, but the way I would look at it is don't, because if a character dies, they lose that stuff. And it doesn't look like we have anything that we can certainly buy at the moment. So we've got that there. Really, you can't use anything right now. Oh, that's because we're only looking at the armor, or the weapons, I should say. What is everything else? So, okay, so yeah, the robes are pretty expensive. Leather armor. Okay, so this shows me what they can equip. Okay, yeah, so we're kind of stuck in a situation where we just got to get more money, and things are really expensive, so we've got to go back in the dungeon and get some monies. Off we go on an adventure into the dungeon. Well, that's not a face you want to wake up to. So the floors of the dungeon do not change, so you can map out the floor on a piece of graph paper and be fine. Oh, rogues, nice. They'll probably run away though. More than anything, I think they're gonna run away. So we're gonna fight the first group. There is no targeting in this game. You just basically select that you're going to so I'm looking for, hit a certain group, and it just randomly will target anyone in that group. Failed to learn anything new. Yep, the rogues all flee. Oh no, he attacked. Okay, that one attacked too. Okay, cool. Flees. All the orcs are fleeing. Oh no, you're not. Cool. Oh no, 4 damage. Ouch. So you can see 4 damage is quite a lot for our characters here. You can attack the front and the back row. I don't know if there's any reason why you would you could probably focus on the back row if you really needed to. Like, these rogues are actually cutting us up pretty harsh, but the thing I would recommend is that you, oh, he's leaving. Okay, bye. You did all that damage and now you're running away? What? All right, so we got a chest here. Let us inspect. Blades. Disarm. Well, you said it was blades. Let's see. Failed to disarm. You can always cast a spell to see. I don't think that disarms it. I think that just... I think what that does is identifies the trap on it. You can press the L button and leave the chest behind. And quite often, you're gonna want to do that because chests in this game do a lot of damage to your characters. And if you're really deep into the dungeon and you don't get the disarm, I would strongly encourage you to leave the chest, because this is one of those games that punishes you for being greedy. And this is almost like, we'll say XCOM rules, where 70% chance or 78% chance is probably not a true 78% chance. It's probably much less. So be forewarned is all I will simply say. And it looks like we are, like, they're fleeing from us, but they're still doing a fair amount of damage. I think it's just because of the amount of monsters that we're actually fighting are actually kind of kicking our butt. So let's focus on killing the orcs and keep on going from that angle, even though they're in the back. I don't believe that there's any penalty for us to strike the back row. They the enemy, as far as I know, is not allowed to hit our back row. They have no way of doing that from their ability set. One of the things you'll notice is the monsters don't blend. So the kobolds are quite literally in one row, and the orcs are in another row. That was a limit of the coding back in the day, where you couldn't code monsters to be in different positions. So that's just how, and the reason why you see it the way they are. They didn't blend together. All right, cool. We did get a fair amount of experience there to get distributed. Trapless. Oh, okay, fine. Well, you'll have to open the chest and find out. $70? Perfect. So what you see in the bottom right-hand corner, and I failed to mention this last time, was the overlay is what the game actually looked like in the past. So you're seeing what it looked like in yesteryear right there, which is kind of amazing if you think about it. Like, this is what it looked like, and this is how they zhuzhed it up. And I think they did a fabulous job with this. It's almost like they super modded the game. And that's just all I'll simply say about it. While we're talking and rambling, while we're fighting these guys, why do Norwegian ships have barcodes on them? Because when they go into port, they can Scandinavian. There you go. There's your dad joke for our episode. Trying to keep up on them. They're good. My wife sent me a bunch, so thank you to her for keeping me appraised of all the good dad jokes on Instagram or on TikTok. If you guys have any dad jokes you want me to read on the channel, please feel free to send them in the YouTube comments, and I will be glad to peruse them. And if I think they're noteworthy, I will gladly read them. They're pretty funny. It's my brand of humor anyways, because I am a dad and I love a good sad joke. Dad joke, not sad joke. Cool. Total experience. Let's keep on rolling. It's not always going to give you a chest at the end of the fights. And oh, hey, good, we did. So it doesn't look like these are openable, question mark? Oh, there it is, right here. Okay, so this is one of those things that, yep, see, so the wall did have a secret behind it. I'm not going to go in there just yet because I do not want to go back down the rabbit hole of getting lost in the, we'll say, quote-unquote, back rooms. I know that means something completely different now in today's video gaming scape, where there is quite literally a game called Back Rooms. Now, I do know that if I go in this room, it should be a one-off, and I should be able to turn around and leave. Yes. Okay, good. So these rooms, you'll notice that you see this puff of smoke as I enter it. I do believe that they are kind of transporting you into a trick room or into a different space in the map that you have no control over. So you have to be careful. It's predicted, not procedurally generated, but it's predicted. So every single time you will go to a place that is on the first floor, and you don't get transported to like the end level or anything like that, but you do get transported away. So you have to be willing to take that risk every time you get in there, and you're going to play this map and you're going to run into a situation where you get into a loop of rooms. And I quite honestly and literally mean that. A loop of rooms that are these one-cell tiles that keep you trapped until you find the path out. And that's what we did in episode 2, is we actually found, or session 2 I should say, where we found the way out, but it's still very hard and very taxing on your group because I barely made it out. My party was pretty scuffed, and you can send a different party into the dungeon. I think you can have up to 2 in the party at this, or in the dungeon or in the maze at the same time. And I'm not certain if one party can rescue the other or can see the other in any way, shape, or form. But it's almost like they gave you the ability to have a free save. And they saw me kill their one buddy and they're running away. So keep that in mind for yourselves when you play the game, that it's nice but also not nice. Alright, so it doesn't look like we have any other paths forward. Yeah, it looks like these are all there. So what I'm talking about from the experience of last episode was that the tiles, even though it looked like we were coming back to a normal map space, friendly orcs, they hail you in welcome. I will leave in peace. I don't want to fight them if they're friendly orcs. They're just doing their thing. These are undead kobolds, though. I'll fight them any day of the week. Strictly because they won't run away from me. So, what I was going at before is the map tiles, they'll overlay on to normal tiles, those one-space rooms loops that you can get into, and you have to find the way out. You have to map the way out. You have to figure the way out, or die. Those are your only 2 options. And that is part of the challenge of the game. It's not meant to be nice. It doesn't hold your hand. It doesn't let you know that you're safe, because you're quite literally not safe, and you'll never be quote-unquote overpowered, because the game does scale quite a bit faster than you do. And I will show you in a little bit here what I'm talking about. So we're technically what I like to call in the front half of level 1, or the first part of level 1. This is still the very first floor. And there's still just the same monsters that we're fighting. Oh good, we opened it, nice. And that's fine, that's all good, it's predictable, it's controlled, it's safe. But when it starts getting unsafe is very rapidly. So let me, do I want to go this way? Yeah, I want to go this way. Yep, see, so this is a secret room. This is where it gets unsafe. If I click this wall, it'll break away. And I can quite literally go into this room, or this one here. And this will lead into a trap room, essentially, a trap room loop, where it will take me to that one boss that we fought in episode 2. I don't want to do that yet. I want to go show you guys why this also gets unsafe really quick. So right here, this is the pinnacle of, or the fork in the road is what I will call it. If I go down this hallway and turn left, that will take me back to town. If I go up here and go into the dark room, that is how I got out of the, we'll say, second half of level, or level 1. So the front half are the rooms that you can see traditionally. They're the rooms that you know are around and that you have the control to move into and out of freely. The second half of the level is the rooms that are controlled and predicted, and basically a one-way highway to get you to follow a path to get out of the dungeon. And you have to be careful, because if you go too far too fast, you will bite off more than you can chew. So in that same vein, we're still very much in the front half, but now we're starting to push into the back half, because you'll see that there's going to be more monster encounters, and they're going to be more numerous. We're going to get 5 enemies in each row, and that will destroy your party. It has the potential to really wipe your party if you're not paying attention, especially if you go too far too fast. But a good metric is seeing how quickly you can defeat the enemies in one hit, as well as also do the enemies run away from you. If they start running away from you, then you know you are pretty powerful. And you're able to progress the story a little bit further, or progress the idea of the story a little bit further. Now, this is where that point comes in, because I believe right around here is the staircase up. I should say down. Oh no, kobolds. Oh no, kobolds. Fight the kobolds. We'll just defend. Yep, they're gonna run away, which is fine. All three of them? No, and he hits me for 3. Oh. I would really like it if Busy would get a level up, because that's what really helped the party out. Okay, that's not bad. Nope, not here. Is it over here? Nope, not over here. Not over here. Oh. It's not back there. I don't think it's back there. I thought that was over here. Interesting. I don't want to go in that room just yet. I guess I might have to fight that guy to progress. I thought I had the staircase for level 2, free and clear. So this is what I'm talking about. So now technically, like I said, I'm in the second half of the first level, and I'm getting 5 and 4. So that's 9 enemies against me and my 3 that can attack and 3 that can't. If I want to, I can certainly cast a spell on the group, but it's not going to do me any good because the spells I have at this level are more buffing and debuffing. They are not damage spells, so I can't necessarily wipe a group out. And their damage spells that I do have are single target. The only AoE damage spell that I have affects undead only. And thankfully the undead don't run, so I'm able to actually cast that pretty quickly to wipe out the group if I happen to have several that I'm fighting. Also, the slimes don't run. So that's why it's also important to have not just a group of fighters, but a well-balanced group where you have 3 fighters and maybe a bishop, or 2 fighters, a bishop and a thief, a cleric, and a mage. You know, just to have that well-rounded party. 81% certainty. Oh, $100, not bad. Okay, cool. Now, I think we are good to go. Let's get ourselves down here. Down, yeah, there it is. I knew it was around here somewhere. So this is the staircase down to level 2. My personal advice, or my personal opinion, and everyone has one, and it will always be different, I'm sure, is from here, if you can make it from start to here without losing any HP, I would recommend that you go down to the next level. But there's some caveats to that statement. If you have any level ups or anything like that, go do them. Because that just means that you're leaving experience on the table and you cannot level up a dead character. Also, if that character happen to has any pieces of gear on them, they will lose that, you will lose access to that piece of gear. So when we go down to the next level, get a wonderful loading screen. We don't get a new tile set, but you do get a new map to explore, and you will fight new enemies. They might just be the same type of idea where you have a different shader on the same type of enemy. As you enter the room, a silvery fog envelops you. Terrible demons form all around you. In terror, you flee the room. Don't want to do that. As you enter the room, a bronze smoke fills you. You feel compelled to leave immediately. Robed man, so now we're up against our first wizards. Or casters, I should simply say. Yep, mage level 1, so I'm going to have you guys attack, and I'm going to try and identify, and then we'll see. Block. Doesn't learn anything. Block. Block. And then it's their turn to go. And 7 damage dished out. 7. He has 14. That is half his health. Nope, didn't want to do that. I wanted to heal my guy. And he runs away. He did 7 damage and then ran away. Thankfully, we still get the heal off. Didn't do hardly that much, I don't think. But that's the kind of stuff that happens. And we still gained some gold for some reason. I'm not certain why, but we do. So I'm actually going to leave our episode here. I'm going to bring myself back to town. This is the fun part about the game, also the challenging part about the game. You have to walk yourself all the way back. As far as you came in, you've got to walk yourself all the way back. So it might pay you in spades to make a little map or a little note on how you got from point A to point B on every floor. This was Busy Gamer Dad showing you guys Wizardry, a remastered version of it. I can't say enough good things about where games and video games specifically have come from in the past. They shaped a lot of my life. They gave me good adventures to delve into and good characters to fall in love with and dramas to invest myself into and systems to understand and grow with. Just as the case in point for this game, it's a remastering of a 40-year-old game that I grew up playing, and it's really comforting to know that there are companies out there willing to do this to show just how much gaming has evolved over the course of several decades. And I just wanted to share that with you guys. Hopefully you like the video games as much as I do. Maybe this one was for you. I have a link for you guys in the description if you want to pick it up for yourselves. And if it wasn't, maybe next week we'll have something that's up your alley. Hope to see you there. Later.